On 20 March 2023, we at auction house Künker will offer the Professor Dr. Franz Schedel Collection featuring coins and medals from Salzburg in cooperation with Magis Limited. In this film, we want to present some impressive rarities to you. It all began in 696 when the Bavarian Duke Theodbert signed over the ruins of the Roman town of Juvavum to a missionary named Rupert so that the latter could build his episcopal see there. For funding the see, Theodbert donated 20 salt works to which the city owes its name. Salzburg was to remain a center of salt production and salt trade for centuries. That's why Saint Rupert is always depicted with a barrel of salt. On coins, the patron saint of Salzburg has been depicted since the 15th century. Often we see him by the side of Saint Virgil. The latter was bishop in the 8th century. He is said to have had the first Salzburg cathedral built. Therefore, he is depicted with the model of a church. Rupert and Virgil were not the only saints venerated in Salzburg. This double Goldina from 1538 shows us the martyrdom of Saint Radiana. She's attacked by two wolves. In the background is Wellenburg Castle, where Radiana lived and where the family of Archbishop Matthäus Lang had their ancestral seat. It was he who had this coin struck and who established Radiana's cult in Salzburg. The fact that Saint Radiana continued to be venerated in Salzburg after his death is proven by this double Thaler Klippe. The year 1571 can be read on Saint Rupert's footstool. This piece is extremely rare. It is the third known specimen. An entire crowd of saints is depicted on this Reichsthaler, which was minted in 1682 on the occasion of the 1100th anniversary of the archbishopric. The motif focuses on its relics. On the obverse we see Rupert and Virgil, whose relics are kept in the Salzburg Cathedral. On the reverse, on the far left, there is Saint Martin of Tours, whose relics Salzburg has owned since 1020. He holds a goose on his arm, which is known as Saint Martin's goose. Next to him is Saint Vincent, whose relics were acquired around 900. Relics of Saint Hermes were brought to Salzburg by Archbishop Liutprand as a souvenir from his trip to Rome in 851. The Pope gave the bones of Saints Chrysanthus and Aria as a gift to Liutprand's successor Adalwin on the occasion of his installation as bishop. This assembly of saints reminds us that, back then, the wealth of a church was not measured by the gold it contained, but by its relics. This changed with the advent of the Enlightenment. This coin was minted exactly 1 century later, for the 1200th anniversary in 1782. Archbishop Hieronymus of Colloredo chose a depiction without saints. Instead, he had a classicistic temple depicted. On its pediment we can read the abbreviation DOM. It refers to the Roman cult name of Jupiter and can be translated as "to the greatest and best God." Salzburg was not only rich in relics. Thanks to the salt trade, the city also had a wealth of precious metal. This is illustrated by the great number of heavy gold and silver coins which were minted as diplomatic gifts. The Salzburg Tower issue is probably the most famous among them. It is named after the windswept tower. Many numismatists have interpreted it as a symbol of the Christians' fight against the Turks. The Schedel collection contains gold tower issues of 10, 8, 6, and 3 ducats. The silver denominations range from a half thaler to the double Reichsthaler. Particularly noteworthy are the numerous strikes in the form of clipper issues in the weight of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 thalers, as well as of 5 ducats. All these coins were means of propaganda. The reason for this was that Wolf Dietrich von Reithenau refused to pay the outrageously high taxes for the war against the Turks that the Imperial Diet had authorized the Emperor to levy. Therefore, he was up for trial at the Imperial Chamber Court. To prevent this, Wolf Dietrich sent a small body of soldiers to support the Imperial Army in 1593. This was cheaper than paying taxes. His tower issues advertised his support throughout the Empire. In this way, he kept up a pretense of supporting the Emperor, and the latter refrained from an embarrassing trial at the Imperial Chamber Court. These coins were minted as diplomatic gifts too. They commemorate the consecration of the Baroque cathedral in 1628. The obverse shows the new facade of the Salzburg Cathedral between St. Rupert and St. Virgil. Their relics were at the center of the 8-day festival, which attracted countless dignitaries to Salzburg. Among them were not only Elector Maximilian of Bavaria and the Habsburg Archdukes Leopold and Albert, there were also many bishops, including those of Cologne, Freising, Regensburg, and Osnabrück. So there is a historical reason why these coins depict 8 bishops in full regalia, carrying the reliquary. They are accompanied by 2 acolytes with censers. What we do not see on this coin are the 5 magnificent honorary gates that were erected for the procession by various congregations. They costed several thousand gulden. The coins that were distributed among the participants of this feast were not the only medium used by Archbishop Paris of Lodron to document these festivities. He also commissioned a detailed account of the festival, which was summarized for the general public in the form of a pamphlet. His successor was Guidobald of Thun and Hohenstein. He was consecrated bishop on 24 September 1654. The coins that he had distributed on the occasion of his installation tied in with the impressive celebrations and depicted the facade of the cathedral. This issue is of 15 ducats and was certainly reserved for members of the high nobility. This piece has a weight of 10, this of 8, of 6, and of 5 ducats. Let's round off our little tour through numismatic Salzburg with this coin. It also served to document a celebration. King Joseph I passed through Salzburg on 9 February 1699 with his bride Wilhelmina Amalia of Brunswick-Lüneburg. On the reverse we can see an intertwined monogram of the letters IRS, which stand for Josephus Rex Sponsus, King Joseph Bridegroom. The circumscription refers to the ruler's motto. Its translation reads, "Through love and fear." The reverse is dedicated to the bride, Wilhelmina Amalia. By the way, there are also lighter versions of this issue in silver. This piece corresponds to 1/9 of a thaler. Such coins had a special function, as they were thrown among the people during the procession. There are many more interesting details to find out about the Salzburg coins and medals of the Professor Dr. Franz Schedel collection, so we certainly recommend you browse through catalog 384 yourself. We at Auction House Künker would be glad if this film made you a little curious. We would be delighted if you participated in our spring auction sales from 16 to 24 March. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us.